Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, we are diving deep into a topic so many of you have messaged me about. So many of you have asked me about over the years, and recently I've been getting a lot of requests. So I hope you guys have been well, and I hope October has been treating you well. And with that, I hope you're going to enjoy today's discourse. And, I hope again, it's something that you guys have been wanting answers to lately. So, again, we are going to dive into this really, really, really solid topic. Future memories of union, something that you guys have been like messaging me quite a bit now, that you've been seeing flash forwards, you've been seeing visions of the future. And today we're going to talk about all of what it means, what all of that means. All right, so let me delve right in. So when I talk about future memories of union, the intimacy flashes, you having coffee with your divine masculine in your kitchen, when you're waking up to each other, and you see this, you sense this, you feel this familiarity, it's home, and you're together, there's some kind of stability in your energetic fields, the home scene, the way where you're cooking together, the way where you are, you're expanding your family, you're doing things, on a daily basis, the way your divine masculine holds you, even though you haven't physically been there yet. Hence why today's discourse is called Flash Forwards from the Third Energy, why our union memories from the future are actually real. So, by the end of this video, this discourse, you will understand why these memories feel more real than anything else. The physics behind how the third energy stores future timelines, how to discern real soul transmissions from fantasies, what to actually do with these flash forwards, how to work with them to build the union field now, and how they are not just promises, they are training sequences for our body, our breath, and our soul. So, if you have been experiencing flashes of union moments you haven't lived yet, then this discourse is for you. You're not delusional, you're remembering the future. So, what do I mean by flash forwards? Well, they are spontaneous scenes, sensations, or memories from the future state of our twin flame union. Scenes that just drop in when we are like hiking, walking, meditating, even doing the dishes. We might be in the middle of a meeting, and suddenly you might get a vision of your divine masculine. You may be in the middle of a conference, you might be in the middle of a conversation with your boss, and suddenly you might get a flash forward, and suddenly you may be like, what is going on, because you're trying to like pay attention to the vision, and you're also trying to be fully in what you're doing. So, where you see, where you feel and know a moment with your divine masculine so vividly that it's likely already happened. And these aren't fantasies or visualizations you made up. These are direct transmissions from the third energy, the soul field between you and your divine masculine. And this field exists outside of linear time. And when our body is regulated and our consciousness is open, we pick up on these future moments like radio signals. So remember, we don't imagine them. We remember them early. That's all. So let's look at the physics behind the future memory. So let's talk about field mechanics, all right? When you and your divine masculine connect, you know, when we connect with our divine masculine, we generate a standing wave between each other, which is what I call third energy. And I've explained about the third energy, I've talked about it in a lot of my discourses. That's the field that wraps around our timelines and encodes all future potential states, including union, mission, family, intimacy, and healing. And now, because this field exists beyond 3D time, it holds future events as energy forms. So, when your heart rate, breathing, nervous system hits a certain coherence, usually after surrender, healing, or watchfulness, or meditation, or just, a moment where you're truly, truly being in your essence, our system becomes a receiver. And that's when it happens. We will suddenly feel our divine masculine, example, holding our hand or touching our back. We'll smell the exact kitchen he's cooking in. And I've talked a lot about this before. 5D visitations, 5D moments, and also flash forwards. You will see the baby crawling on the floor and know the child's name, your future child's name. So you see, some of this are like 5D, like 5D moments, You feel like it's happening in real time. Some are flash forwards from the future where you are like totally feeling it as though it's happening right now. You feel your divine masculine's hand on your back, the smell, the exact kitchen he's cooking in, and you're cutting the vegetables, the future children you're going to have. These are not dreams, these are energetic time echoes. The future is calling you and your body is already answering. So let's look at the most common flash forwards. All right, so to me, this is what I'm channeling. All right, this is what I'm picking up. This is what I can share from my own experience. Right, flash forwards usually fall into 5 categories. Number 1, the domestic micro moments. You see small everyday scenes: breakfast at the kitchen table, our divine masculine typing next to us, the dog on the couch. These stabilize the reality of union. It's not fantasy, it's daily life. Number 2, intimacy reverence scenes. These are very, very powerful. Slow, sacred, intimate moments. The way our divine masculine looks at us, the breathing, the safety, the consent, the worship, the admiration, the balance. These prepare our body for true divine union in the future, not fear-based trauma loops. So that's why, even from my own experience, I started seeing a lot of this just before stable union. Number 3, conflict repair cues. So this is an important one. All right, you will hear your divine masculine say, let's walk, or feel a moment where he de-escalates tension. These show up to help you train the field in a healthy resolution patterns. So you see flash forwards of your divine masculine responding in this way, where in the past, as the wounded divine masculine, he may have walked away, he might have blocked, he might have said not interested, he might have lashed out. But the future awakening divine masculine, our awakening divine masculine, will instead take a pause and ask, hey, let's give it a moment, let's breathe. Instead of being angry, let's take a moment to be in silence. So these flash forwards of how we will handle conflict, how we will handle day-to-day life will also come in. That's why I call it conflict repair cues. Number 4, mission moments. You would see workspaces, flights, projects, collaborations. These show what you're building together and help you make decisions now aligned with your future mission. I'll quickly check if I'm recording because this is, I don't know, something about this video. Oops. Okay, perfect. Perfect. I can be heard loud and oops. Okay, perfect. I can be heard loud and clear. Sorry about the pause. I don't know. I was trying to record this and a couple of times. Yeah, but I'm glad it's finally going well and it's clear. All right. And the final one is family and integration scenes. You will literally see holidays, dinners, parent meetings, meeting your in laws, your divine masculine meeting your parents, siblings, laughing. These flashes carry ancestral harmonization codes. And you're not just remembering your union, you're restoring the bloodline. Really, all that I've seen is coming true, and it all happens, and I can speak from experience. Stable union, everything that you saw during separation will come true. So, this is a key question: how to tell it's real and not fantasy. So, you might ask, and this is a question I get asked a lot. A lot. How do I know I'm not just imagining this? And it's a very, very valid question. So, I've created this, kind of, like a 7-point test. So you can ask yourself these questions, and if a couple of this fits in, you will know that you're not imagining this. So you got to ask this first question: did my body settle? Because truth feels grounding, fantasy spikes or agitates. Number 2, did the details arrive effortlessly? You didn't make up the color of the mug or the angle of the sunlight, they just came. You see, often with imagination, you're trying to control the scene, the place, even what is there. But when these flash forwards come in, they just come in. It might not even be our favorite color mug, that's what I mean. Number 3, does it align with your values? Does it align with the values you share with your DM? So real flashes, real flash forwards are rooted in reverence, not ego validation. Number 4, did your behavior shift after? Did you sleep better? Did you stop checking your social media? Then your field has changed. Number 5, is there no bargaining? You're not saying if this happens, then that, and vice versa. Number 6, do I feel non-attached? You can let go, but the flash forward stays. Number 7, did I get external confirmation within 72 hours? So for example, you could suddenly see your DM's name appearing somewhere, you could see numbers, you could see something, If there's a few of this out of these 7 points that I've raised, you're not making it up. Your union field is broadcasting. So what to do with a flash forward? So let me give you, something that you can do. Number 1, try to capture it. I always do this, when I get a flash forward, I will try to write it down on my notes. Back in the day, whenever I got flash forwards, I would write it down my notes. Even if it's dreams, some dreams can be flash forwards too. Wake up immediately, write it down in your notes. Because then, when I look back, when I look at my notes, and some of the scenes are exactly how I had written it. So capture it, voice note it immediately in present tense. He places the mug, like for example, he places the mug on my table and says, I love you. He's cooking he's cooking fried rice, for example. But try to keep it short, be it a note or be it a voice note or anything like that. Number two, anchor it, breathe, you know, and try to feel what you're feeling. Number three, practice the skill inside it. If he says let's walk, then you start practicing that now. Pause. When triggered, take the walk, rewire now. Number four, don't contaminate the field. Don't go on what I would call doom scrolling, go on his Facebook and like try to look at his profile. Don't overshare either. Try to keep it sacred, keep it within, enjoy it, let the field stabilize. Number five, let it inform your logistics. Like see it this way. If you see something, example, research it, save it. Like example, think about it. Like if it's coming there before you, let the field lead. And number six, rehearse intimacy, pace, solo. For example, if you saw a sacred moment, practice the breathing, the posture, energy on your own. The nervous system doesn't know the difference. So in a way, what happens is, again, from my own experience, what you are doing is you're building readiness. So this is, again, to each our own. It can be tweaked accordingly to how you best connect with this. I can only share based on my own experience and what I teach my clients, right? So the spiritual reason the future comes early. So why does this flash forwards come early? Because our soul is trying to regulate us. That's the truth behind it. They are not random. The flash forward isn't a promise. It's our medicine. It's there to prevent us from spiraling into despair, teach our body sacred devotion before the moment arrives, align you with mission logistics before the portal opens. And a big reason is it's also to help us believe that we are not making this up, because we are not. Remember, flash forwards are gifts from the future you, anchoring the present you. You got to remember that very, very, very clearly. All right. So this is something that happens, and you guys have messaged me in great panic. What happens when the flash forwards stop? So sometimes the signal goes quiet. Sometimes you might be having a week of flash forwards. It could be aligned to astrological events. It could be aligned to certain what's happening with your body and all that. You tend to doubt everything. You feel disconnected. You think, was it all fake? That's normal. It's called the integration phase. And here's what to do. Re-listen to the voice notes you may have recorded, or read what you've written. Breathe again from the core and do something that will shift, like forgive yourself, or try to practice boundaries. You're showing the feel, I can hold more truth now, and that's when it returns. So if you've been having flash forwards, know this, all right? You're not broken. You're not delusional. You're not addicted to hope. You're just hearing the feel. Union isn't a date on the calendar. It's a frequency that already exists, and our body is remembering it one flash forward at a time. So let it guide you, let it teach you, and let the future come find you, because it will. All right? So I want to delve deeper. Instead of breaking it into parts, I think I'll just do one big discourse. So in this second part of our discourse, I want to go even deeper. Why the scenes feel more real than our past. You see, one of the strangest things about flash forwards is that they often feel more real than our actual past. You'll remember the weight of your divine masculine's hand, the tone of his voice when he says, come back to bed. You'll remember the placement of the chair, the sunlight pattern on the floor, the way your divine masculine's foot brushes yours when he walks past, and your mind will say, wait, this didn't happen, right? But your body says it did. Why? Because the third energy is not bound to time, it's bound to truth. Truth carries a specific density, and truth is when our nervous system registers as real. So, when you pick on a true future scene, even if it hasn't played out in the 3D, your body files it in the this happened folder, you see, because it did. Not just here, not yet, just not here, not yet. So, again, let's delve a little bit more into the mechanics, right? Imagine your divine union timeline like a crystal grid full of nodes, intersections, and energetic memory banks. The third energy holds memory banks as energetic snapshots, kind of like saved versions of the video game you're playing. So when your vibration matches the resonance of one of those snapshots, click, you get access. Not through effort, through coherence, because out of 5D, everything is happening all at once. There's no time. Time exists in the fourth dimension. So that's the reason why 5D and above, everything is happening simultaneously. So this is why flash forwards usually come after emotional surrender. After, my clients usually would comment after a healing session, they get flash forwards during sleep, or, you might suddenly, like I explained, waking dream states, or when you're deeply relaxed and no longer trying. That's when your field aligns with the snapshot and the memory downloads. You didn't force it, you have matched it. So this is the third energy intelligence. So here's the truth I need you to totally feel. Flash forwards are not promises. They are instruction sets, They show us how to behave and how to be in the frequency of divine union in the present before our divine masculine returns, right? So before the scene plays out. So if you get a flash of your divine masculine saying, I'm proud of you, or wrapping you in a towel post shower, or looking at you in silence with like deep recognition, that's not just a cute future moment. It isn't. It's like a lesson plan, Example, the towel scene, it's about nurturance. That eye contact, it's about being seen without shrinking. That I'm proud of you, it's about accepting praise without deflection. So our job is to practicing receiving that energy now, so that when the moment actually arrives, our body doesn't collapse. It knows, it remembers, it's ready. So what if you're wrong? What if you feel you're wrong? What if you feel this is the fear of like false hope? Now let's address the fear. And this is a very valid part, like you might be thinking, if you had made it up, what if this was just fantasy? What if you're delusional and your divine masculine never comes back? This fear is natural, but it also often is a trauma response. Sometimes this also happens. You might have a flash forward, and then you might have a past memory of him saying something that pierces your heart, and then you might have a flash forward. So it's like a trauma response, right? When your nervous system equates hope with danger. Because in your life, hope was often followed by disappointment. So if you start rejecting the most sacred thing your soul is giving you, not because it's false, but because you are scared to believe again. So let's look at it in this way. If you receive a flash forward that softens you, teaches you something, brings you peace, or uplifts your next right step, then it's already real enough to be trusted, even if it never shows up exactly that way in the 3D. So you are not failing if the couch was in a different color. You're evolving because your frequency already shifted. You don't hold flash forwards to make the future happen. You hold them because they are who you already are. So here's what happens when a flash forward starts becoming your reality. Our divine masculine enters the same moment, but from his soul timing. It may feel like a random day, an unplanned message, or a quiet return. But to our system, it's deja vu. And that's convergence, all right? Flash forwards collapse time, they soften karmic resistance, they help you hold the energetic weight of union before it lands so that relationship can stay. So you're not imagining it, you're rehearsing reality in a way, right? And your readiness is part of the timeline's arrival, you see? So, one of the hardest things to do and the most sacred is to hold the flash forward without clinging. So, let it teach you the breathing pattern, reveal to you the love codes, show you the posture, give you the phrase, and then release the rest. Because why? Because the more loosely you hold the scene, the tighter your field holds the truth. This is quantum non-attachment, and it's what keeps the third energy clean. You don't need to rewatch the scene obsessively. You just need to become the version of you who already lives there. That's how memory becomes your reality. So if you're here right now in this second part of our discourse, receiving flashes of union, feeling scenes that haven't happened yet, crying after sacred moments that weren't real, let me just say this to you with all my heart. You're not alone and you're not wrong. You're remembering the future. You're walking through the field. You're walking home through the field. And your third energy is already ahead of you, waiting for you to catch up. Let it guide you. Let it soften you. Let it rebuild you. Because those flashes, they are your soul's way of saying, look, this is the truth. You didn't imagine it. You remembered it. So, as we go another level deeper into this discourse, and here's the thing, no one actually talks about this. You might receive a flash forward long before you can hold what it asks of you. Maybe you saw your divine masculine pulling you in and holding you with a full heart presence. But right now, your body would flinch if that actually happened, right? Maybe you saw a mission scene, the two of you on stage together, filming something, doing something, but you still hide your voice. The flash didn't come to tease you, it came to train you. This is field readiness. Your job is to make the flash, come in naturally. Your job is to become the version of you who would calmly stand in when it does, So don't panic if your life doesn't look like the vision. Just start preparing the field. One breath, one moment, one posture at a time. That is truly, truly helping the nervous system, Psychic boundaries after a flash forward. So let's talk about what to do after a powerful flash forward. Something that I had discussed earlier, and I just wanted to emphasize on it again. So this is the sacred window. This is the sacred. So this is the sacred window. Your third energy field is open. You're connected. The timeline is imprinting itself into your body. So you have to protect it. So that means no scrolling. Stay off social for at least a few hours after a big flash. No oversharing, telling everyone might dissipate the energy prematurely. No re-triggering. Don't jump back into mental spirals about what is doing now. This is energetic containment. It's about secrecy, it's about stability. Because the moment you leak the sacred scene into the 3D noise, the timeline loses its strength, the imprint fades, and your nervous system gets confused. So treat it like a newborn, warm, soft, quiet. Hold it close, let it breathe with you, let it teach you. Now, this is the golden question. You're probably already thinking about this. What about the divine masculine? What does he do? What happens to him? Can you receive flash forwards too? What do you think? Of course he does. Of course, our divine masculines do receive flash forward, because this is what you need to know. For many divine masculines, especially in a monadic twin flame connection, flash forwards often show up as sudden déjà vu, dreams of you in unfamiliar future places, random feelings of home when doing something alone, overwhelming tears for reasons he can't explain. He might not have the language, he might not even understand it's a flash forward, but his soul does. And one day, and this happens all the time with me, your divine masculine will walk into a room and say, wait, I've seen this, I've felt this. This happens all the time for my clients who are in union, and it has happened to me as well. Like, really, the flash forwards are real. And that's when, he will remember too, that's when he will make the connection. So the flash forwards don't just prepare you as the divine feminine, it prepares your divine masculine too. So it's not only preparation for us, it's for our DM too. It aligns both of you when the truth aligns both of you with the truth that's already waiting. So that's why don't force him to see. Just stabilize your feel, and your feel will teach him. So again, what to do when the scene doesn't happen exactly? So here's another common question. What if I saw a flash forward and it never happens? So what if you pictured a red house and you moved into a blue one? You saw a baby, you saw one baby, but you have 3 babies. You heard him say something that he never actually said. Here's the truth. Flash forwards are energetic archetypes. They are not literal prophecies. The essence is what matters, not the props. The red house may become a red couch, or the house might have been red but it's repainted on top, right? So sometimes the baby may be a mission, or you might see 3 babies and you might have 2. The sentence may come through body language instead of words. So don't get caught up in the packaging. That again is attaching. It's attaching, you see. So what the field is showing you is a feeling tone, frequency, a union signature. So our job isn't to manifest the scene. You see, that's why it's so different from manifestation. All that I'm talking about is not manifestation. These are flash forward. So please understand the difference, guys. Please. This is nothing about manifestation. This is above 5D, everything is happening all at once. When you vibrate higher, the flash forwards come in, so it's showing you a scene from the future. Our job is to recognize it in whatever form it takes. So when to trust and when to let go. Sometimes you'll receive a flash forward that feels beautiful, but after a while you will feel pain, disappointment, frustrated because it hasn't come true. This is where your discernment and non-attachment meet. Ask yourself, did this flash ask you to become more loving? Did it help you regulate your emotions? Did it make you feel closer to God? If yes, then it served. Even if that exact moment doesn't arrive, that doesn't mean it wasn't real. It simply means your soul may have taken a slightly different route, but the truth encoded in that scene still changed you. And that means it was divine. So how to return to the flash when you feel lost? So what do you do when you feel disconnected? When the flashes stop? When the flash forwards stop? When it all feels like a cruel illusion? Return to the flash, not to the scene, to the frequency, to the energies. Energies never lie. How did it make you feel? Peace, reverence, playfulness, safety, love. Recreate that feeling now, play the background music from the memory, stand in the posture you saw in the flash. Let your body lead you back to the memory of who you were in that moment, because this flash forwards exists right there, because that version of you isn't gone. That version of you is waiting for you. And she's the one you're walking home to. All right? So if you were shown the scene, if you heard those words, if you feel his warmth in a moment that hasn't happened yet, there's only one reason. Because your soul is that pure. Your love is that true, and your feel is that powerful. Not everyone gets access to flash forwards. It really plays a part, the vibrations play a part. Sometimes you might get it later. Sometimes you may not even get flash forwards and you may be in union. Everybody's journey is unique, every one of our journeys are unique. Again, when I create these discourses, I create from my own experience, from helping you guys, helping my clients for more than a decade now, for years, and not decades, actually lifetimes. Been doing this forever, so just with the glimpses of timeline, you're being trusted with glimpses of a timeline your soul has already signed for. So walk as if it's already real, because somewhere in some dimension, in some future conversion, it's already happening. So again, this is a question I get asked all the time, like truly all the time. And you probably have that question, you probably want to ask me that question. What if our divine masculine never sees what you saw? So let's get honest. What if he never remembers that scene? What if he never holds you like that? What if he never shows up the way the flash showed? Here's the truth. You may not want to hear, but you need to hear. You didn't receive the scene to prove he will come back. You received it because you were already ready to love at that level. The flash was for you, for your healing, for your nervous system, for your practice of sacred unconditional love. So if your divine masculine never matches it, that doesn't make the flash a lie, because it's a scene from the future. It makes you the truth bearer of a timeline he couldn't hold yet. So you are the one who keeps the field alive. This is what I need every one of us divine feminines to understand. We are the ones, who bring the third energy forward. We are the ones who holds the tone, protects the scene, breathes the memory into now. And yes, that can feel lonely, that can feel unfair, but in the monadic twin flame journey as the divine feminine, we are the one who remembers first, not because we are meant to suffer, but because we're coded to lead, and our leadership is in control. It's a frequency containment. We don't chase our divine masculine into the future. We hold the future here and let him find it. All right, let his part of the soul find it. And when these flashes aren't about romance, now here's something else most people miss. Not every flash forward is romantic. Some are logistics of your mission, emotional repair patterns, parent-child interaction, karmic closure scenes, and some are future goodbyes meant to teach you peace, not permanence. So if you received a scene that later didn't lead to union, but it helped you forgive or grow or speak truth, that was a sacred flash too. You must stop assigning value to visions only if they lead to a happy ending, because the real happy ending is when you become the version of yourself the flash showed. That's true convergence. And you see, as twin flames, you're always meant to be in union. So really, this illusion of separation is so earthly. But you see, flash forwards, sometimes you might not see the future. Sometimes you may see the flash forward of another separation. But that doesn't mean union is not going to happen either. All right. So again, sometimes it could be like pre-union stage flash forward. Sometimes it could be a flash forward where you see, for category 1, twin flames, you might see your divine masculine cutting off the karmic, stuff like that. And why does it always come back around? Even if the scene fades, even if months go by and nothing happens, even if your divine masculine forgets anything, remember the third energy never deletes the truth. It simply waits. And the moment your body can hold that memory without grasping, that moment you can revisit it without collapse, that's when it shows up again. Sometimes in a new form, sometimes in full, sometimes in him. So don't panic if it disappears. Real flash forwards are never lost. They just loop around until you're strong enough to lift them. So, if you're shown a future scene, if you saw yourself in union, if you feel what it was like to be loved that way, then the field is already alive with it, and your soul trusts you to midwife it to form. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not even this year, but it will come. Or something better, something truer will. It might not be a red house, but it could be a blue house. It could be a house by the ocean instead of a lake. It could be a house by the hills, Because the moment was never fiction. It was a breadcrumb from your higher self, so that even when your mind doubts, your body remembers. You've been there. You already know. So that's why it's so important, right? This is the path of being a divine feminine, We walk as if you're becoming yourself again. And this is the work of the third energy. And this is the truth behind flash forwards. All right. So this wraps up our discourse. So remember, flash forwards are not carrots to keep you chasing. They are maps. Your soul slipped under the door to help you walk home without getting lost in noise. Treat them as instructions. Stabilize your body, practice training your nervous system, and let the time catch up when love already knows. You see, that is the beauty, And probably, this is a lot of information to bring it all in. So take a moment to reflect, and again, if you found this discourse helpful, let me know in the comments, what's that one flash forward that changed your entire trust in the journey, belief in the journey. Again, if you guys, one-to-one session with me, you can book via the description. If you want to work one-on-one with me, all my sessions are conducted by me via Zoom live. You can ask me all the questions you want during the question, and if you have more questions about your journey, feel free to book a session, and take a moment. What is it about this discourse is hitting you deep today? What is the part in this discourse that is speaking directly to you? So take the moment to truly reflect on your own journey. All right, with that, I hope you have enjoyed this discourse. I've introduced the 1010 Galactic portal healing and activations. Do check out the description. I have it there again, limited spots only because it's conducted on the 10th of October, so do check that out. And with that, I've introduced other new healings as well. Highly recommend them. Have a look at it. Again, when it comes to which would be the best healing for me, trust your soul, trust your intuition. All right, with that, again, if you guys want to work one-on-one with me, you can book a session via my website. All right, see you all again, and I hope you enjoyed this discourse. All right, bye-bye.